Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic. So, before the league launched, we were talking about the Infernal Shade buffs. They pretty much doubled the damage effectiveness of the explosion from Shade for some reason. I don't know why, because the build was already very good. So, it was very confusing to see them buff it. And the reason why being is a friend of mine, Ante. He actually played a version of the build before this, and he was sharing it around and stuff. And wow, that version was insane. Like it was doing like the event mob stuff, and those were really tanky, right? Just like the champions now. But then they buffed it. I was like, okay, let's make a league starter version of this. All right, and then we did, and oh my goodness, Anta just decided to just whip it out, just like Carve did during that interview. He just decided to play it. How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
What
Uh,
how was your journey through the new Infernal Shade buffs? Hmm?
well, I've had a pretty strange journey. All around the season start was a bit wonky for me because as you may know, I started as a warlock and my plan was to respec. But I couldn't ever afford the respec because it was too expensive.
They even nerfed it too. I remember that.
They did?
Yeah, they did nerf the respec cost after
Oh,
you did it.
thank Lord.
Yeah.
It was still, I was always like 10% off the mark. But as I kept farming gold, I kept leveling. Um, so I ended day one as like 11th on the softcore ladder or something. I think I was the second highest lock. And at that point, I just said, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. So I went to bed, and the next day I leveled up a Lich instead. At
You
that point,
literally leveled up a Lich instead. I didn't know that. I didn't know that till now.
so yeah, I have a Warlock at like level 92 or something. And due to the fact that I could never afford the respec, I just said, fuck it, I'm leveling Lich. And as I had already gotten the main pieces, I had
Yeah, it
gotten
was
the
must have
gloves.
been really easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was super simple.
Yeah,
I
you
just
should level as Warlock, by the way, guys, mind you. And then respec now that they fixed it, it's way easier if you're starting fresh. But of course, if you already have all the gear, like if you're leveling into Tune, you could easily level Lich. It's just Lich is weird because it doesn't have access to Chthonic Fissure, and on a fresh start, Chthonic Fissure is like mwah, like chef's kiss.
yeah,
Okay,
leveling
go
Lich
ahead.
is a bit obnoxious. I've seen Mau Mau do some poison stuff, which
Yeah,
seems okay. But
it's definitely not as good as Chthonic Fissure, right? Definitely
no,
not as
it's
good.
not.
Okay, so for people who are new to this video, who haven't seen it before, haven't seen this build before, you want to explain what's going on the screen here for them?
So on the screen, um, there's a lot of zombies that we summon, right? We self-cast summon zombies, and we have the Ring of Putrescence to cycle them, and then we just self-cast Infernal Shade on them. Now, where things start getting a bit crazy is the fact that we can triple cast Infernal Shade with the Legion node inside of the tree, and things just start exploding, I guess, because you have the triple cost with Legion. Every time a zombie dies, the zombie also casts one Infernal Shade. The zombies get recycled by the cycle of putrescence, and yeah, it becomes a fire show, really.
Yeah, can you explain what's going on specifically with Infernal Shade? Like, why is doing what it's doing here?
So the Infernal Shade is weird, and I've spent a lot of hours thinking about why is it working like this. So first of all, we've changed it so that we can target minions, right? We need to do it so it works. And then it turns out that when you use Infernal Shade on a minion, it counts probably as a buff. And so when we refresh the buff, the first buff ends. And when it ends, we have the combustion node inside of the tree that makes it explode. Um, so that's how it works. So we really just buff refresh on our minions over and over. And as long as we have minions, I usually call them ammo in my little shit videos. We can keep on going and going and going.
So, What would you say, since you played COF, this is pretty like soul self-found friendly, right? Like you don't need trade or anything like that to get this going. What would you say are the priority pieces of gear that you should be farming for to get this build up and running in a proper fashion?
So even before thinking about swapping to this build, we want the Lich's Envy gloves, and we want the minus mana cost on the Lich's Envy, um, plus your wand, and wrong warp has a -3 to -5. So as long as they add up to 14, which is the mana cost of Infernal Shade, so it costs 0, you're Gucci. And then we want the Crystal Skull with a pretty good roll on the flat spell critical chance.
Do you want to
And
explain why getting that minus flat mana cost is so important?
oh yeah, so when we use Legion, which is the triple cast, it adds on a 1.7 times multiplier, so 170% increased mana cost to our Infernal Shade. So if we didn't have it cost 0, it would just be unsustainable mana-wise. And if we wanted to make it work without the gloves, we would have to sacrifice pretty much every single prefix we have for mana regen, and the build wouldn't really work.
Perfect. Okay. So now that we've talked about that and people have a good understanding of how this is working, that chest, huh? How's that chest going?
It's so broken, dude. Remove it. Get it out of here. It's not okay. This is not okay. This just shouldn't exist. It's the stupidest shit added.
I'm surprised they went and just full went for like a 24% less. I would assume it'd be like 8% less maybe with all the other
Yeah,
mods on it.
yeah, something like that. But the funny part about this chest, even if we remove the whole damage taken or damage reduction, it's still an insanely strong chest.
Yeah, it's just a good base and everything. It just looks good. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Speaking
So
of items, by the way, so once they get the basic setup of course, the wrong warp, the crystal skull, and of course the gloves, what other like kinds of pieces are you kind of like looking for to push the character to the extreme that you're watching right now on screen? Like how do I get my character to like a minute Abberoth kill or whatever, right? For someone who's like, a new player, be like,
something like mid maxing, I guess.
yeah.
So when you have your Crystal Skull, your Lich's Envy, and a Cycle of Putrescence, those are like the core pieces, the basic pieces. After that, you want a Pale Ox as soon as possible. I would equip it vanilla without LP, just because it's inherently so strong. And then you want the Wrong Warp as soon as possible, so just spend all Runes of Ascendance on a Wrong Warp, and you imprint it so you can farm a lot more. And in time you will get with LP. At the same time as you're doing this, you can farm for Immolator's Oblation, the belt, that gives you flat spell damage.
Speaking of, before
When
we continue, you want to explain how to farm that now, considering it's changed a little bit?
which piece? The
Immolator's Ablation, now that we have new
Immolator's
ways of getting
Oblation.
it.
Yeah, we do have new ways of getting it, but I'm old school. So I went to the dungeon, and the only change I did personally was that I skipped it with charms.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, yeah, that makes it way easier, dude. Like, yeah, it's great. No, I was just
yes,
curious if you're using the dungeon mobs or not in the monos.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know shit about the Weaver tree.
That's great. I love that.
I've just been blasting. I've just been like,
The
okay,
build's
Nemesis
just
is
been that
good.
good. Yeah. I've been
No,
cycling conquered towers myself and abusing woven beacons for that. But we'll get into
yeah,
all that later.
yeah.
So now you've done Abberoth. You've done how much corruption now? Where are you at?
I'm right now. I'm chill farming like 1400
100,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like cemeteries, they don't like bully you, right? Like you're doing them just fine as well.
If I play badly, I can absolutely die, but it's very rare. Maybe I die one in 20 maps now.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense because I've noticed sometimes for me when I push up the high corruptions now, the cemeteries are like actually like the deciders of whether or not I can do high corruption or not the actual fucking monos themselves now because the tight corridors, the erased alchemists, the erased witches, and all that. It's just like ugh,
yeah, and some builds are going to be better at this, right? For
yeah,
example, this build due to the AoE,
yeah. You just hit the
you
whole screen. Yeah, you just
yeah, so especially in those cases, if you play well,
yeah. I ran
because you
into
have
that
to
with my
manage CDs.
Heartseeker marksman where like it was really bad in the tombs and cemeteries and stuff. But for this build, you just like walk up to the mob, summon the zombie, and bam.
Yeah, and
So,
you
oh, go ahead.
cycle it with the minion traversal, the affix we have on
Yeah,
our boots. So
yeah,
you for one pack you summon zombies explode. For the next pack you transplant explode. Then you have zombies again, so zombies explode, and then you cycle them. So
perfect. So, the last question now for this video, because this isn't meant to be like a guide or anything like that. It's just meant to be just a casual talk between two people, two infernal shade lovers, right? Right? You know, infernal shade brothers in arms. So, I mean, we have been working on it for like fucking what 5 6 months
we've
now.
worked a lot. I've spent an ungodly amount of
I just
hours on
love
that
that we
skill.
thought the warlock version was the best one, huh?
It
I mean, it
it's weird,
was.
right?
It was
Y-
until they buffed this one, huh?
And it was also in the ecosystem of 1.1, right?
Yeah.
And the strongest part about the Infernal Shade Warlock build is how easily it reaches a pretty high level, how little gear requirement it has.
Yeah, this is
Um,
definitely a little bit more of a gear requirement to get started, but oh my god, is it explosive.
yeah.
Okay.
But in 1.2 for the Warlock, I
Yeah.
just thought I'd mention it. The shade has gotten quite a lot worse, not necessarily because it does less damage or anything, it's because the content has gotten harder. And so with a build like that, where you can reach a pretty high level with very little gear, but the ceiling isn't as high as, for
The
example, Torment.
possessions are just going to murder you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, like I said, last question here. Uber Abberoth, is it viable? Why is it not? Why is it? What's going on? I know you wanted to do it and you had some problems. Go ahead and hash all your grievances now. This is just support now. Go right ahead.
I actually don't have any. I guess I have grievances with the building itself, but man, is that fight so cool! I love that fight. It's so good. And the fact that if for everyone who didn't know, and I'll try not to spoil anything for those who want to go in blind, I'll just say this: you can no hit run it. You can literally no hit it or hit run it, and that's so fucking cool to me.
That's
But
exciting.
it is. But in terms of the build and Uber Abberoth, I haven't downed it yet. I am planning on doing it, which is why I'm now losing my mind over min-maxing this even further. So for all
By
of
the
you,
way,
when
when
you
he
look,
does kill it, we will make sure to make an update video.
yeah,
Continue.
so even now the gear is like this gear is pretty good or pretty good. It's pretty insane. Like
Yeah, I
2 LP9
noticed. I
is
went and looked.
perfect slam, wrong warp 3 LP perfect slam, Twisted Heart 2 LP perfect slam.
You've been playing a
You
lot.
know, I've been playing a lot. Um, I've also been spending. I've been playing pretty efficiently, even though I have no idea about the Weaver tree.
I mean,
In terms,
COF just lets you focus one build so hard,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's really, really strong. Just get all your exalted with prophecies, use Nemesis Tower, and cycle it with Turtle for the uniques. It's so
God
easy to
bless
get
the
one.
turtle.
I love that turtle. It has allowed me to Nemesis like 20 or 25 Nihilises extra.
Yeah. So we were talking about you brought it up. What is going on with the zombies uptime during Uber Aberoth? You were talking about that. What's going on with that?
So yeah, as some of you guys who listening knows
By the way,
our zombie.
spoilers after this point. By the way,
Oh yeah.
go
If
right
you
ahead
if you
and
don't want to get spoiled, just
turn off the
close your
video. It's fine. Yeah,
eyes.
just
No,
turn off the
close your
video. Yeah,
ears.
yeah.
Yeah. So in the Uber Abberoth fight, there is a lot going on, but the main part is that there's so many AoE pools of damage everywhere, and the problem is if we don't have minions, we don't do damage. And so every now and then, pretty often, there are too many damaging abilities out on the screen for our zombies and maggots to live, so we can't do damage. Now, I have gotten a lot better at the fight, and it's become more and more manageable. So I got him to heal himself, which was cool. If you didn't know, he heals himself.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
I love the part.
yeah, that was my best attempt, and I didn't know because I'm going in blind, right? I haven't
Yeah.
watched any videos. So when he healed himself, I just panicked and I died. I died so quickly, and that was my best attempt. And I haven't gotten there again yet. But I also decided to focus on gearing even more because there are some upgrades we can do. Pretty major upgrades actually. But this is not a good Uber Abberoth killer. I'll just tell you
Anything
that.
minions involved, right? That isn't snapshotting, right?
Yeah, I don't think, especially minion armies, right?
Yeah.
Especially minion armies. I don't think they will be able to do it.
I
Just
mean,
in general.
even solo minions in general, like just all minions, if you're not snapshotting, because how do you have the damage while also having your minions not die? Like that's such
Yeah,
a
I think Abomination can do it without snapshot. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it, obviously, because I where would I find that time? But I think Abomination should be able to do it without snapshot, as you know, and I've been ranting about this for I don't know how long, years. I hate that skill. Abomination is an abomination. It's, in my opinion, the strongest skill in the game and the strongest build in the game by far. But I think Abomination can do it and without snapshotting, but I don't think any other minion build can do it.
perfect. All right. Well, it was nice to have you on. It was nice to see the update. If you want to see the league starter video where I talk about like how you could league start this build and get it started and then eventually transition into this version, I'll be leaving that link down below. But thank you, Ante, for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on and showing us your busted Infernal Shade stuff. Thanks, EHG, for buffing it for no reason by adding, 100% more damage while also adding the stupid Pale Ox chest. Because for some reason, it needed it, I guess. So thanks, guys. So go. Thank you for coming on, though.
Thanks for having me.
With all that being said, this has been Dread. I'll have to go do something else. Hopefully not rolling a Lich now. I can't let it keep me from playing it. No. I might be rolling a Lich soon. No. Bye guys.